I just get down to this music every week. Every week there, Kegger. What's going on, buddy? It is the NFL action plan. We're going to break down Thursday Night Football, the 1 and 4 o'clock slates. I'm excited. I always am excited, but it's the week before Thanksgiving week. So we got the triple header of garbage. We've got a great rivalry game that one team is horrible and another team's pretty damn good, and the Steelers and the Browns. And then Sunday, we'll see if we can find some winners there. I know you put a couple of bets in already. You put one in last night, and we were talking about that bet. And I don't mind bringing it up, and I think that's the one we should probably give away anyways. But what was it during the Monday night game? We were talking about Jameis Winston throwing multiple interceptions and where we could find it, right? You found it. You found it. And I think that it's a pretty damn good bet. And in order to get in on a Jameis interception, because I can't get to the bet 365, I had to just bet his minus 190 and pair it with Pickens over 40 yards. I mean, if that doesn't have, if he doesn't get 40 yards, and screw it, I deserve it. But that's a great bet right there.
To be honest, I thought about laying the 185 outright by itself. I would be really surprised if he doesn't throw a pick in that game.
Like, is there any chance we get close to even money? If he doesn't throw a pick in the first quarter, can we get like minus 25 or something like that?
I don't think it's going to be a coin flip until probably the second half.
Oh, then he's already going to throw one.
It's possible.
Yeah. It's not a good scene for Jameis right now, although we like him because he throws a ton. But this will be a tough matchup. We'll break down Thursday Night Football. What up, Die Hard? Hey, if anybody wants to drop their best bets for this week, or you got questions about bets, go ahead and do so. He's Keg, I'm Kush, and the code's right up here. Nuke November, Nuke November. We'll give you a 1 week free trial, Keg. You know, dip your toe in the water. Why not? Get all the pre-flop players from Keg for Sunday.
Might as well, man. We're up 34 units in week 11. It was a good, very, very, very good week. So hopefully we could build on that, keep the momentum going for the people. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving because I'm fat and it's around the corner, and I'm going to eat my face off, Holden. How about that?
Are you going to eat the turkey with the octopus in it that is in our chat right now?
No, I'm not. But my favorite, let me tell you my favorite part of Thanksgiving. After everybody goes to sleep, they're all in bed. That late night Thanksgiving dinner sandwich on a beautiful baguette, turkey, stuffing, corn, everything. Just gravy, just in a baguette. I mean, it really does not get better than that. I can't wait for that sandwich.
Oh, that sounds delicious. All right, hold on a second. Yeah, and what I'll do usually, and my mom, you know, she's the best at this. Like, she got my grandmother's recipe and her grandmother's recipe and everything else. Like, for me, and now I finally got the recipe at 50. I didn't get the recipe until I was 50 for the sweet potato casserole with the delicious some people love it, some people don't. Delicious marshmallows on top. You get the sweet potatoes in there, a little bit of orange juice, some spices.
Delicious.
Dump some turkey in there, dump some cranberry in there, just a bowl of Thanksgiving right before you go to bed. Get that tryptophan in there.
On top of that, when you're Italian, like with all that normal stuff, you get the stuffed mushrooms, the antipasto, the Monagot appetizer. I mean, I'm looking to have a day on Thanksgiving.
You're gonna have this?
That is just a horrific sight.
Thank you, Adam Meyer.
There's not a lot.
I love octopuses. They're smart.
There's just not a lot to say about that picture.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's just the case. It's just the case, bro. Yeah, I'm 50. Look, this isn't because of age. It's because my ex-wife. But yeah, I'm 50, buddy. And,
yeah, we're old, man.
No, you're not old yet. You're only 44. Me and Cooper are old. Like, if you're over 50, you're old, according to my daughter, who's 9. So we're old, bro. Sorry.
All right.
Stenberg, never seen the Jets down so bad, living in Utopia. I mean, that story in The Athletic where Woody Johnson in the first month of the season wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers. Seriously, who wants to work for that schmuck?
I mean, hey, man, Aaron Rodgers has not looked very good this year. I'll say that.
Bench him after 4 games?
I'm ready to bench him now.
Who are you putting in there? Who?
Just release him. Just get him out. Just let it. It was a failed experiment. Just get him out.
Yeah.
And right now we're slated to have a top 10 pick, but that's not good enough. I would like the second pick in the draft.
Yeah, I saw this thing with Boomer Esiason today. He's saying he's hurt. He's like, Rodgers is hurt. It's either his ankle or his hamstring. But that's what happens when you get old, man. When you get old in football years, that Aaron Rodgers is like Methuselah, dude. That dude's 100 years old in football years. So
for sure.
Yeah, coming to the end for him.
To be fair, Brady threw for 5,300 yards and won a Super Bowl at 43. So
yeah, but that's the one guy. Him and LeBron James, whatever they're doing behind the scenes, I want that.
How old was Peyton when he won in Denver?
Oh, when he just did nothing in that Super Bowl run?
Yeah.
He had to be 40 or so. Yeah.
There are people that find success.
Yeah. I mean, there's whatever they're putting in their body is just brilliant because it's working, dude. So that was what, his last year? 2015, I think, was his last year. And Peyton Manning was born in 76. So, I mean, he was in his late 30s. Yeah. He wasn't even 40 yet, bro. He's Dunsky. All right, enough of this. Let's get into the game, all right? We'll start Thursday night football. And look what we have here. The red-hot Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the arch rival Cleveland Browns. Steelers 3 and a hook on the road, -3.5, 37. I mean, we're going to have another one of these games, Keg, where we're sitting here on Thursday night doing our free show, live betting show, starting at 8:10, and we're going, ugh. But there'll be money to be made. So talk to me here. We've got the Steelers 3.5. Is that a little much?
I felt better about us making money in this game a couple days ago. Like, this game is becoming harder to make money in. The last I saw this morning, we have a 75% chance of snow with gusts of wind up to 25. So that's pretty substantial weather to deal with. Very hard to accurately handicap this game without knowing how hampered they're really going to be. If you watched that game last week, the Steelers offense looked very good. They might have stalled out on drives once they got in the scoring position. But for the most part, they were going up and down the field and, on an exploitable Baltimore defense. The under has been getting bet in this game for sure by the public, which you would expect considering the weather is a factor. But I still like to see what we're working with come tomorrow before I really make a decision. The Steelers, in my opinion, they're just a way better team. Going into last week, I would have had this line at 6 on a neutral. Steelers probably going to get the bump in our PR off the win against Baltimore. So this line feels a little cheap to me. It probably should be closer to 4.5, I think. But like I said, I want to see what the weather looks like. It's a bad sign for the Browns when you give 215 yards on the ground to the Saints last week. And now you play a team that's very much dedicated to running the football. So if the weather is less of a concern than people think, I can see us getting on the Steelers team total here. It feels low to me if the weather is not going to be impactful. But it's a wait and see right now. Lean the Steelers and the team total over, but I'm going to wait.
Oh, it's nasty, man. Weather.gov, that's my place. Rain and snow showers before midnight, then rain showers. So we'll have snow showers, low around 36, 13 to 18 mile an hour winds, which isn't going to kill you, but the 28 mile an hour gusts.
That's a problem. That could be a problem. Yeah.
Now I kind of feel bad about betting the Pickens over, but it's 40 yards for Pickens, and they'll still throw. You're not going to run the ball every freaking time.
Makes me feel better about the interceptions, though.
Yeah, I think that's one way to look at it. I think Najee Harris at 64.5 rushing yards has got to be something that we at least explore. I think maybe even pass attempts for Russell Wilson at this point to the under. So
it's like we were just talking about before we went live. The Browns were preseason expectation of a top 5 defense. and they are 18th in EPA per pass and 17th in EPA per rush. They're just a mediocre defense this year. And that's a problem when you really don't have an offense that's very good. So, we'll see what we could see. But I did not count on the weather being an issue, but looks like it's going to be an issue.
Finally, we've got a weather game. I love watching snow on HD TV, man. I don't want to sit in it, but I love watching it. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like to watch a nice snowy football game for sure.
Yeah. Let's I think we got Dave Ross coming on the show tomorrow night. So it'll be fun to catch up with him. Yeah, I was like, hey dude, come on the NBA show on Wednesday night. He's like, dude, I don't watch the NBA. I don't come on. I'm not doing that. I'll come on for football though. I said, great, come on for football, buddy. We'll go talk to him from VSiN, and he just got a promotion. He's working with Michael Lombardi.
I'm a big fan of his Twitter account. Dave
Lombardi?
No, Dave.
Oh, Dave. Yeah. He does a lot there. Here's the deal. Hit the like button if you get a chance. You're going to have a chance. It's going to take you 0.2 of a second to do it. And if you're watching on X, come on over to YouTube. Guys, we just picked up another chunk of followers on YouTube. Our channel is just to the moon. Why don't you become a part of it? Subscribe, turn your notifications on. Everything's going well right now. We're winning bets. We're doing good shows. We got Card Addict in here talking about dudes. We got Jabroni Clyde talking about the Ravens defense sucking. And our boy Johnny. Johnny
what
B. Up, Johnny boy? What up, Johnny boy? Okay. Steelers or Dolphins defense? What does that mean for like fantasy or something? I mean, it's the Steelers, bro. It's going to be a disgusting game, and Jameis is going to throw a couple of picks. All right, let's get to the Sunday games. We're going down to DraftKings lineup, top to bottom. We'll do the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock slates, buddy. We've got the Red Hot Lions, who are now the favorites to win the Super Bowl. They are 7.5-point favorites, though, going to Indy. Now, Richardson finally had a really good game last week. I don't know if we can trust him to do that again against the Lions, but it's a healthy total, dude. 50.5. If you did want to back the Colts on the money line, listen, upsets happen. Plus 320, but it's hard to see the Lions not winning this. The question is 7.5 points. Is that too much, Keg?
Yeah, I've been saying this for a month now, but without question, the best team in football is Detroit. When you consider the edge that they have on the offensive line, they have a top 10 quarterback, and the days are over if we're wondering whether or not Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. He 100% is a top 10 quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong, quarterback play in this league is down over the last 5 years, no doubt, which probably helped them a bit, but he's top 10 quarterback. They have a wideout that catches every ball thrown to him for the most part, and they have one of the most dynamic running backs in the league right now. So they're incredibly tough to deal with when the defense is playing well. Right now, the defense has done the job against inferior competition, and Campbell has these boys playing, man. They believe. I think that they're definitely a teasable side this week. Ooh. I have not personally bet many teasers this season at all. I know that from the reports, people have been getting absolutely killed betting teasers this year, but the Lions at a discount is most definitely the way to go in the spot for me. So I'll probably throw them in one teaser. The Colts defense hasn't been bad this year. And that's even with dealing with injuries all season long, but you have to play out of your mind to consistently stop an offense that is as good as Detroit. And you need a quarterback that can put the team on his back and get a touchdown when it counts. And there's absolutely nothing that I've seen from Anthony Richardson through 11 games that tells me he's up for that challenge. Now, I do worry slightly about Anzalone going down, especially after Hutchinson a few weeks ago. This defense is not healthy right now for Detroit. So I have my concerns about them being able to stop Jonathan Taylor. But at some point in the game, Anthony Richardson is going to have to make a series of plays that I don't think he's capable of doing consistently. Detroit wins. I'm not sure if they cover, but they win. I'll have them in a teaser for sure.
We are going to bet a teaser this week. Okay, very good. You want to know something? Another way to attack it, if you don't have bet 365 and you can't bet 2 interceptions for Jameis, you could throw one on Jameis, who, by the way, got bet up to minus 215. We got him at 185, minus 190. He's at 215 now. I think that you can throw a little parlay with Richardson in there, because I think Aaron Glenn's going to dial up some stuff against this dude. Richardson had one nice game. Good job. Is a different type of defense. I know they're having a little problem with the personnel in the pass rush. They're still getting it, Keg. They're still getting it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to really sell me on him throwing interceptions. He's not very good at throwing the football. So, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll buy
Smart ass. Steve Dogecoin? I don't know. You already asked that one. All right, Dan Miller. Oh, yeah, our boy Danny. College football. How about the Patriots? Playing a little better football with Drake May. What up, Card Addict? Good to see you, pal. Like button would be great. Let's go. Chiefs, Panthers. I mean, I don't want to watch this game. The Chiefs are 10.5-point favorites on the road. The total is 43. The Panthers are a complete show. And if you think that Bryce Young turned the corner too, good luck against this Kansas City defense coming off a loss. With that being said, Keg, I don't know if they cover this game. I don't know if they cover. Everybody lights up the Panthers. Pacheco could be back this week, but 10.5 to me, I don't know if it's going to be as easy as everybody says. Agree or disagree?
That's kind of where I'm at too. Like, another thing I've said for weeks is that KC, as currently constituted, has been dramatically overvalued when you consider how they've looked on the field as a team, and more importantly, how mediocre Patrick Mahomes has looked this year. Now, you're right to say it's the regular season and KC is just sleepwalking like they normally do, and at some point they will turn it on. I guess you have to respect that argument after last year, but KC is exactly that at the moment, and that's mediocre. They should be 7-3 right now. They're lucky to be 9-1. They are absolutely beatable. Unfortunately, this isn't one of those games, as they play one of the worst teams in football right now, if not the worst. Historically, they don't cover big numbers, Kansas City. So the last thing I'm looking to do is lay 11 with this team on the road. I don't care who they're playing. The over has been getting bet in this game. I guess I get it if you think the Panthers are going to get whacked. But, like, I'd rather, if I was going to bet any total, I would probably attack the Kansas City team total if I was going to bet the over, because Kansas City's got a solid defense, and I think Carolina is going to struggle. We're still waiting on the Pacheco news. Him playing would be good news for a team that's playing a group that is barely in the top 30 in defensive EPA per rush. But, KC has struggled to be consistent on offense the last month. And I don't see that being a problem this week, as long as they do the right thing and design everything off the run. Pacheco would be nice. But again, Kareem Hunt has done the job more than well since they signed him. Like, how much better? Like, you and I had this conversation the other night. I don't know production-wise how much better Pacheco is going to be for this team when you look at the numbers that Kareem Hunt has put up. But it's the worst defense that KC has played this year by a country mile. They could finally show up. I can't lay the 11. I might be able to get on the team total, but I still have to think about it.
Yeah, again, Hunt's an interesting case study here. I think that just the amount of work and the matchup looked terrific. But if you dig into it, he's really not – he hasn't been as good as the numbers say, and regression is going to start coming. But it doesn't matter, because he's not going to have to carry the ball 25 times anymore with
right.
coming back.
He did his job. He got them
perfectly.
Right.
I think he did a great job. All right.
I think they could. I mean, the total's like 26.5, 27.5. I think they can get the 28 against this Carolina team. I do. We might end up there.
That's going to be uncomfortable, though. But
yeah, it's not going to feel great.
They should be able to do whatever they want. Just watching, just like Detroit did last week against Jacksonville. The difference is that Kansas City has not shown us that they're a good offense anymore. Like Kelsey, what do you have? 2 catches and 8 yards last week, I believe. Mahomes has been a guy.
Don't you kind of feel like that was entirely built off like the defensive scheme for Buffalo? Because Kelsey nuked every other team.
I get it. And then Hopkins had the one big game, but we haven't seen him really explode. But this could be the week because, again, it's a great matchup. But I just feel so uncomfortable backing anything with the Chiefs right now.
Yeah, I really don't disagree.
Then we can back them in the playoffs. All right, Nuke November is the code for 1 week free trial. Please do so. If you sign up today, you will get all of Keg's pre-flop plays. We're doing a free show tomorrow night, so it doesn't matter. But you'll also get the Sunday pre-flop plays. You'll get the live shows behind the paywall on Sunday, 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So a lot there. You'll get the Monday night plays, and then you'll probably get a couple plays for next week as well. So go for it. Just like Card Addict, he joined us at the start of the season. He's terrific. Nuke November, 1 week free trial. Our best salesmen are our subscribers. That's the people that sell this site, Keg, and you know that well. And there are people that have been with you for a long time. All right, let's go to the Gigantes, the Giants hosting the Buccaneers. Mike Evans is going to play. He's still limited in practice with the hamstring, but he's coming back. Giants getting 6 at home with Tommy DeVito. 41.5 is the total. I'm just going to ask you something we have not discussed because I just saw the number drop here. We love backing the ancillary targets in the passing game with the Bucs.
Yeah.
Evans is coming back. They placed Cade Otton at 50.5 receiving yards. I just saw that drop. I think MGM had 53.5, but Caesars had 50.5. So, like, is Otton a guy that we could target? Who's going to be that guy that soaks up the targets from Godwin? With that, and I also have a hard time thinking Mike Evans is just going to get thrown into the fire, run a trillion routes.
I'm not sure yet. My gut reaction in this game, because of the pressure, the only thing that this Giants team can really do well is get pressure on the quarterback, and that makes me gravitate towards Rachaad White out of the backfield and Cade Otton rather than counting on Mike Evans to have the time to get up and over the top. And I think I agree with you. Could he be 100% healthy? I guess he could, but I have my doubts. I'm with you. I do not expect a full workload if he does play. So, but anyway, about the game, the total's been bet down about 1.5 this week. I assume that's just people smashing the button off the quarterback change, but I'm not really sure. Here's the thing. I don't know how you can perceive the quarterback change in this game as a downgrade for the New York Giants. In order to do that, you have to assume that on average, the backup will play worse than the starter. And I cannot say that with conviction with how pathetic of a quarterback Daniel Jones is. I can't say that. The problem is that the market doesn't agree with me. And the market is basically saying that DeVito is about a 2-point downgrade from Dimes. And I just fundamentally disagree with that. I don't think that there is a downgrade at all. So combine that with the fact that, like I just said, the one thing that the New York Giants defense could do is get pressure on the quarterback. And we know that Baker Mayfield's one liability as a quarterback is dealing with pressure. I'm not sure if the Giants win this game, but I definitely think they can hang around in this game and cover the number. So definitely a strong lean towards the Giants here. At you could get like +6 minus $1.20, I think, at DK last I saw. And the total, now that it's been bought down, feels about right to me. But yeah, I think this number's wrong because I don't think there's a downgrade at quarterback.
So last year, the Giants averaged a full yard more after the catch when DeVito was throwing the ball compared to Daniel Jones. That's the first thing. Second of all, the kid runs for about 30 yards a game on average. So I think looking at his rushing yards will be interesting for Tommy DeVito. And then third of all, he likes to get sacked a lot. So You guys that like betting defensive props, this might be a great game for you guys to target. So, guy's going to get sacked, guy's going to run, and he really is not much worse of a quarterback than Daniel Jones. Simple as that.
That's kind of where I'm at too.
And we can look at Tyrone Tracy too, because we've seen this Bucs defense just get shredded. So it'll be a closer game than people think, I think. Shapeshifter, what up, amigo? Good to see you. Peace and blessings to you too. Anthony L. Hey, Ant, what's going on, buddy? Daniel Jones, second worst.
Yeah. I assume Aaron Rodgers is number one, Ant?
Yeah. Maybe Drew Lock. Okay. Pats Dolphins. These Drake May rushing props have been hitting to the over. Patriots 7.5-point dogs on the road, Miami. Hey, don't look now, but the Dolphins have won a couple of games in a row. They were 2-6. They win this game. They're 5-6. They're right in the mix for maybe a playoff spot here at the back end of the AFC. The total here is 46. It is a rivalry game. Does that factor into this at all, Kegger, when we look at the Patriots and the Dolphins?
I mean, they're familiar with each other, but Drake May looks like he might be the real deal, man. I like what I've seen from this kid over the last month. I think he's improved every week over the last month. And I think he's now the guy that you have to roll with until you see if he's a true franchise quarterback for good or for worse. And I lean that there's a better chance that he ends up being the long-term answer here than he isn't. I think that Mayo now feels comfortable enough to take the reins off this kid. They're starting to throw the football more. Last week, May dropped back 40 times. I expect a similar output this week. Now, in this game, I think the over is definitely in play. But I also think the Patriots are probably in play to cover the number. My concern is that we just saw two very good wideouts combined for 230 yards against the Patriots defense in Puka and Kupp. Now you have to play Hill, probably Waddle, which could present many of the same issues for the Patriots defense. And that makes me lean more towards the over in this game than the side. But I definitely have a strong lean to the over in this game. I'm not sure if I'll bet it yet because I'd like to dig into the game a little more before I do. But I could see myself potentially hitting the button on the over. I think that we're going to see points. I think the Patriots defense hasn't looked great and the offense has looked better. And to me, that should get them up and over this number. This number is attainable.
Okay. So a couple things here. You know, we do football, but did you know we do NBA? Spread and Tyler have been crushing the NBA. If you like to bet the NBA, go check out the NBA rundown coming up at 5 Eastern. Spread and Tyler just, again, they're off to such an amazing start. They deserve more publicity here at Nuke the House. Free show, 5 o'clock, NBA rundown. Smash the like button here. Our boy Danny Miller, again, college football host, Pat's Moneyline. The G-Man says Drake is the truth. Okay. Richie Smalls, he's the only Drake I like at the moment.
Spread is up 22 units in November betting the NBA. That's pretty good, man.
Sick. And then Stevenson over his Russian receiver. I don't know. We haven't looked at that. I haven't looked at that, Richie Smalls. I did want to go back to the Drake May, though, because every week, whoever comes on Nuke the Props with me is like Drake May over. Do not bet his prop if it's in the upper 20s or low 30s, because it's just gotten out of hand at this point. He's got 24 and 27 the last 2 weeks. His prop has been 30.5, 32.5. So, you know, if you can get it somewhere in the mid 20s, like 25.5 or lower, I'd do it. But I'm telling you right now, it's been a popular bet. Every single week, people are putting money on Drake May rushing overs. If it's in the 30s, you got to fade. You just have to, man. You can't do it. Shapeshifter, followed Spread and Tyler here from last season. Sharp NBA minds. 5 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday, NBA rundown. Kegger, Titans, Texans. Texans 8.5-point favorites at home. Let's keep an eye on Nico Collins this week, right? Because he had that 77-yarder called back, but then he didn't look like the same explosive guy. The total here is 42. the passing game is interesting for Tennessee because, Levis, is he a good quarterback? No. Is he chucking the ball to Calvin Ridley and Westbrook-Akine? Every single week, these dudes are getting a ton of targets. So if you're looking at passing props, I think there is an interesting way to go. But where are you on this Texans team now after the win the other night, Kegger? 8.5-point favorites, 42 total.
Well, we've seen the line move about a half point towards the Titans since the Texans game.
Yeah.
I think the total has also been bet down about 1.5 at this point. The Titans defense has really been the unsung hero of a subpar team this year. They're really good at not getting beat over the top. If you look at the numbers on big yardage plays against this team, they've been rock solid and at not letting teams get the cheap score. And it's the reason that they've kept the offense in games. And it's the reason that they've gained more yards than their opponent in 4 of the last 5 games, I believe. But the offense cannot score when it counts in games. And it's because the offense isn't very good. They're plagued by quarterbacks that just make awful decisions at the times that it matters the most. That's been the story of the Titans all year. The Texans, they did not look good last week against the Cowboys. They won the game. They covered the game. They exceeded expectations, but they did not look good doing it. They have a real problem with that offensive line. It's bad, flat out bad. Like, the fact that Mixon has been able to do what he's done this year has more to do with his skill and less to do with solid offensive line play, because it's been anything but. And it will, mark my words, write it down, will be the reason why they get destroyed in the playoffs. So we might be able to target some player props in this game when the lines come out, once I dig into them tonight with Adam. But from a side and total perspective, this game is about where it should be. I really don't see much value either way. I guess you can tease the Texans if you wanted to, but I feel a lot better about Detroit getting one side of the teaser home than I do about the Texans getting one side of the teaser home. So I'll dig into the props tonight. If I was going to back the Texans at all this week, it would be in a teaser. I would not lay that number. On the flip side, I just cannot back Will Levis as a quarterback. I'd rather back targets like you were talking about with his weapons than back the Titans. I respect that defense. I think they've played a lot better than many people thought they would this year, but I don't like the offense. I don't like what I see from that quarterback.
Hey, you want to get Keg's picks on that game, if he bets any, or every single game in the NFL, the ones he does bet, go for it. We'll give you a free week right now. NukeTheHouse.com. Subscribe button's in the upper right-hand corner. See that Nuke November in the red up there? Nuke November will get you a free week. So just type it in. We won't charge you unless you want to be charged after the week. Nuke November, 1 free week. Okay, here's what we got next. Cowboys at Commanders. And I think this got pushed up at least a half point, if not a full point. Commanders 10.5-point favorites at home. Lost a couple of games. 45.5 is the total. And I'm just salivating to see where Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler props drop. Eckler, just such a great receiver. And then you look at this Giants, this Cowboys rush defense, man. Just get back to running a football. Run it right down their throats. Do we see another performance from Cooper Rush where he keeps his team in this game? Or was that just a complete fluke?
He wasn't bad, man.
No.
We sat there for 3.5 hours and watched that kid throw for what did he throw for? 350?
Yeah, he threw for a lot, man. And Schoonmaker is another guy we can look at.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he might be able to put together a similar performance. Our PR had this game at 10 coming into last week. That's basically exactly where we have the line at this week. That said, if I was back in one side of the game, I can only look towards the Commanders. Daniels has had He's had extra time to prepare for this game, and that means a ton when you're an inexperienced rookie quarterback. This total was 43 last week, and we're sitting around 45 now. That still feels lower than it should be to me. Like, Cooper Rush was capable against a defense that's been rock solid the entire year in the Houston Texans. They now, Cooper Rush and that Cowboys team might have not scored a ton of points, but they moved the football up and down the field. Now, I know that the offensive line is banged up. It's a big issue for them, but they're still playing a team that's outside the top 20 in EPA on defense and DVOA. You know, if you look at the pace numbers from Monday night, the Cowboys were getting to the line and getting the ball and play pretty fast. Even if that doesn't continue, I struggle to see how the Commanders don't hang a big number in this game at home. The decision-making this year for Daniels has been fantastic. And like you just said, Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler should absolutely crush this game because Dallas is dreadful against the run. I feel like this is a spot where Washington can hang 30 plus. I'm not sure how I'm going to attack the game yet. There's a shot that we're on the Commanders team total this week. There's a shot that we're on the running backs this week. I like this game for Washington. I don't see how they don't hang a big number in this spot.
Don't bet the Commanders. Everybody knows this is the Cowboys' year, and it's totally not pissing money down your leg betting the Cowboys. I think that was being very facetious, Anthony. What up, Onyx? He's going back to the Giants game. He wants to talk about neighbors. I'll go with Nuke with DeVito. Maybe. You might get a ton of work with DeVito. Vikings Bears, our last 1 o'clock game. Do want to let you know we are live betting the NBA and the NHL tonight. So Zargo's back. Sean Fox will be there. Myself, we've had some success on this NBA NHL live show. 7:30 tonight, since there's no 7 o'clock game. 7:30 we'll be on the air. We'll hang out 2.5, 3 hours. We'll make sure we get through at least the first slate of games. And I'm looking forward to the show tonight. So again, if you want to learn how to live bet NBA, NHL, if you want to win some money, check us out, 7:30, free show right here on the Nuke the House YouTube channel. Vikings Bears is our last 1 o'clock game, buddy. 3.5-point favorites of the Vikings going into Chicago, who have looked like a dysfunctional mess. By the way, I posted this in the chat. Eberflus is now the favorite to be the next coach fired. If Shad Khan hasn't fired Peterson after that performance last week against the Lions, maybe he's just not getting fired this year. But Eberflus pardon my French, is a complete shit show. Now, they changed offensive coordinators. Caleb Williams looked much more competent, I would say, Keg. And they are getting that hook, that 3.5. The total just 39. What do you think about an over in this one? Depending on what the weather is. Because Chicago in the winter can always, that wind could pick up.
The Bears have never fired a head coach during the year. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's probably not getting fired right now.
I'll tell you who I like to get fired. I would have taken the shot if it wasn't for Thanksgiving coming up. But McCarthy sitting around 9 or 10 to 1 to get fired. If they drop this game and they drop that Thanksgiving game, how do you keep them, bro?
Jerry doesn't fire guys during the season either. Jason Garrett hung around for like a decade.
I know. Garrett was there for years past what he should have been. I agree with that. But I don't know. It's interesting at 10 to 1. The total's been bet down a couple points. The look-ahead line was 41. We're sitting at around 39.5, 39. It's a division game, and I know that these two teams know each other extremely well. But, let's be honest. The Minnesota Vikings are just a better football team than the Bears are this year. Why? For the most part, it's come down to the quarterback play and the offensive line. The Bears ran, I think, 25 more plays last week. They had the ball for 14 minutes longer than the Packers did, which is basically an entire quarter of offense. They were home, and they still couldn't get the job done and win the football game. Like, the Bears aren't a bad team. The issue is the offensive line is probably unit for unit the biggest liability in the National Football League. One of them, if not the biggest, to the point where it's just too much to overcome most weeks for a rookie quarterback that's just getting his footing in this league. That's really what this year is coming down to. Now, you have to take that shitty offensive line, and they have to deal with Flores. His defensive schemes have been as impressive this year as what O'Connell has done with Sam Darnold. The power ratings say that there is value on the Vikings, even at 3.5. And I know it's moved a half point this week, but there's probably still value in that number. I just have, my problem is I just have a hard time backing Sam Darnold on the road in what could be a competitive game if the Bears offensive line could show up. But there is nothing to make you think that that Bears offensive line will show up. And if they don't, they're going to have a problem on Sunday. Right now, the game is a pass for me, but I definitely lean towards Minnesota, even at 3.5. Not sure if I'll get there though.
It's kind of wild to see Sam Darnold splits too, because his completion percentage 68.7 on the road, 67.1 at home. He's basically has the same touchdown interception splits. 10 at home for touchdowns, 9 at home on the road, 5 picks at home and 5 picks on the road. Passer rating 100.2 at home, 99.9 on the road. So he's been pretty consistent. Doesn't matter where he's playing, but he's also playing a pretty good defense this week. So
he's playing a pretty good secondary. That front seven.
Okay, you're right. You just talked about it.
Yeah.
So my favorite team to talk about is next. Getting on to the 4:00 games. Like button would be great. You want a free week?
Look up top.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Nuke November, 1 free week. Go to nukethehouse.com. Let's go. Take care of business here, people. Go sign up for a free week. I'm pretty sure you're going to hang out for more than a week. I'll tell you that much. Nukethehouse.com. Subscribe. We won't charge you unless you want to be charged. Nuke November. Take the free week. Okay. So the Broncos and the Raiders in Vegas. The Broncos hadn't beaten the Raiders in like 3 years. They finally got them last year. It looks like they've got a quarterback. I don't think any rookie quarterback has improved more than Bo Nix from game 1 through where we are today. Daniels looked like the most ready quarterback, and I think he was a little bit banged up. Probably the best of the rookies still. Drake May has made some improvements, but what Sean Payton has done with this kid has been nothing short of spectacular. I will warn you, never bet a Denver Broncos running back player prop. Just don't do it, because Peyton just doesn't give a damn. It's S to me this week. No, it's not. It's Javonte. No, it's not. It's not. You don't know what the hell's going to happen here. But the Broncos are 5.5 point favorites on the road. That is a lot, Keg. But this Raiders team is a shit show. And if you listen to Antonio Pierce this week, he said, he was asked, "We think of Gardner Minshew going forward. You know, is he your guy going forward?" He goes, "He's my guy this week." He ain't happy about having Gardner Minshew. You know what? The Raiders fans shouldn't be happy about having Antonio Pierce. 41 total. 5.5 is the spread. Broncos on the road. That's the one thing about this, Kegger. 5.5. I don't like that number. I think it might be a little too much.
The hype is real with your Denver Broncos, my friend.
It should be.
I mean, the reopen line. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Okay. While you're fixing that, the Raiders have trailed for almost 75% of their offensive snap this year. Think about that for a second. When they get the ball, the Raiders are down 75% of the time.
All right. So the reopen line in week 12 was 3 flat. Since then, it's been sent to the moon. And the Denver Broncos are now a 5.5 point favorite. That's a big move, man. At no point in the year, this is where we're at in week 12. At no point in the year have you paid more of a premium than you are paying right now for the Denver Broncos. And the way that I bet this league makes them an automatic pass this week. I don't care if they win the game by 40. I just don't pay premiums for teams at their highest point in the year. We spoke about Bo Nix on Monday. The kid is clearly improving as the season goes on. He is the impetus behind the move, no doubt. The question becomes, did he just have a great game because the Atlanta Falcons couldn't get pressure on my daughter as she was playing on the offensive line?
No.
I mean, like, some flat out bad offenses have played very well against the Atlanta Falcons defense. They are horrific on defense. Can he replicate that against the Raiders is the only thing that really matters to me in this game. The two things we know for sure is that the Raiders will stop the run better than the Falcons did, and they will generate a lot more pressure on Bo Nix than Atlanta just did. So when you consider that, and then you see this line get bet up 2.5 points off the Falcons game, it makes me think that's aggressive. That's an aggressive move considering you aren't playing that defense again. And now you are at the top of the market for the Denver Broncos. I can't get there. I wouldn't bet against them in this game, but I just can't get there to back them. So this game is going to be a pass for me, unless we could dig into the player props market.
That's what I'm saying. 5.5 feels like it's too much, but Cortland Sutton's the guy we always got to look at. He's a target monster under Bo Nix. He's explosive. I don't know where that number is going to be. They have not posted it anywhere yet, but Cortland Sutton's the guy. You just can't trust the secondary options like Vele. It depends on the week there. And then you'd love to go to the running backs, but which running backs are going to get the work? Who the hell knows? That's the question. Like button would be great. Our next live show is tonight, 7:30 Eastern time, NBA, NHL live betting show. Sean Fox, Sargo, myself, 7:30 Eastern. Let's get to a rematch of a great playoff game last year. This is what I think really got you on Jordan Love going forward, right? Niners 2.5-point dogs on the road, 47.5 total. George Kittle came out today and he said, I am playing. Go look at that offense for the Niners. CMC's healthy. Jawan Jennings is performing like Ayuk did last year. They'll have Kittle back. They've got some issues defensively, Keg. That's the big question mark there. And you'll have a motivated Packers team. This Packers team that's still trying to track down the Lions in the division. A Packers team with a really, really good young quarterback. It should be a fun game. I know we're disappointed in the Niners. They've been frauds to this point, but they could change the narrative this week with a win in Green Bay, Kegger. You're on mute, buddy. I mean,
sorry.
I keep talking. Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, bro. I think that's wishful thinking. On the Monday, on the Monday, what did Matt say?
He says uncorrelated parlays will be dropped in Discord tomorrow. The guy hit a 90-1, a 55-1 the last week.
Yeah, Matty's been killing it with those.
He's the man. Go to the dentist, Matty. Real quick, before you break down this game, because you already said a smart-ass comment, I'll break it up for a second. Stop your momentum. Okay. This guy has got a gum injury right now. His tooth was all messed up. He won't go to the dentist. Oh, there's nothing worse than tooth pain, dude. And I've had the back pain. The tooth is the worst. Go to the dentist. I don't want you dying, Matty. You're too important to us. Anyways, what do you got here?
Yeah, tooth nerve pain is the worst thing on the planet. It really is. So on the Monday show, I spoke about how broken the 49ers appear to be right now. After you consider that home loss in a division game they absolutely needed against the team that you've owned historically, I thought a lot about this team this week. And I know that everyone is going to point to the injuries as to why this team couldn't get out of their own way this year. However, something that I didn't really consider during the preseason is what the emotional impact would be of dropping 2 Super Bowl losses in devastating fashion the last 3 years. That's very hard to quantify what that takes out of a team going into the next season. And I don't think that you can discount the fact that this is an emotionally drained squad after the last few years where they haven't had to deal with much adversity because they dick stomped their way to 2 Super Bowls. They can't possibly be in the right state of mind right now. And they're playing a team that has not even remotely hit their stride and played up to their capability this year. But make no mistake, the Green Bay Packers are a very solid football team that is capable of beating the Niners when they're playing well. Never mind when they look like they're falling apart. Now, Purdy didn't look great after he took that one hit against Seattle. Shoulder could be an issue. Bosa clearly hurt, nowhere near as effective as he normally is. Fred Warner can't get out of his own fucking way all of a sudden. Can't defend a pass. Best linebacker in football. Can't defend. He literally can't defend a pass. Everything about this game makes me feel like it's set up for the Green Bay Packers to just drop the ball bag at home against the Niners.
Oh.
So I not sure what I'm going to do in this game yet, but 100% lean towards the Green Bay Packers at home in this spot.
Well, if you want to find out if Keg bets it, make sure you sign up. NukeTheHouse.com, $59.99 a month. You want to dip your toe in the water. Nuke November. Nuke November is the code. All right, we got one more game to go, Kegger. This could actually be a good football game. It's out in Seattle. The Cardinals visiting the Seahawks. Cardinals been playing very good football. They're coming off the bye, aren't they? Should be rainy. Should be cold. Kyler Murray going out to Seattle. Seahawks +1 at home. -108 money line. Cardinals -1 on the road. -112 on the money line. -105 at -1. 47.5 of the total. You know, Geno Smith is very frustrating to watch play football, but then you look at the numbers. The Seahawks have the number 2 passing offense in the National Football League. I mean, that's just crazy, man. They just chuck it. Cardinals on the other end, they like to run. They're number 5 in rushing on the year, and James Conner is terrific. Every week, the Cardinals have been underdogs, and they end up winning straight up, it seems like. Well, this week, for now, they're favorites on the road by 1 point. I don't know what to make of these Seahawks, man. They beat the Niners. They throw the ball. They make a lot of mistakes. Defensively, they've got issues. This to me, I'll just listen to you on it because I got no idea what to think of it.
Yeah, I feel you. It's a big game. I didn't really have the Cardinals leading the NFC West after 11 weeks on my bingo card. Nope. But here we are. They've been one of the surprises of the league this year. They've now won 4 in a row, albeit the Jets, Dolphins, Bears, and Chargers. But the offensive numbers have been strong. I definitely think that they've looked better in the last 2 games than they actually were, considering the Bears and Jets defense all but gave up in both games. But they still beat those 2 teams a combined 60-15. So that's not bad. Here is my issue with the Cardinals right now. And we talk a lot about paying the height of premiums late in the year over the last 6 years on this YouTube channel. My question is, how much better can this team really play? They have to be redlining the limit of their capabilities right now, considering their preseason expectation has been matched in 10 games. So my gut says that the team is inevitably going to regress down the stretch. That's kind of where I'm at with the Cardinals. On the flip side, Seattle, they come into this game losing 5 of 7, but they did something last week they rarely do, and that's win a game in San Fran on the back of solid defense and Geno putting together a game-winning drive. That is something they have not been able to do in recent years. The question becomes, was last week just an outlier performance where they were able to hold Purdy to like a season low 159 yards through the air? Or is Mike McDonald starting to figure something out when so many of us thought that this defense was really going to be legit this year? And they've been disappointing to say the least. But are they turning a corner? I'm not really sure. I think that this game could go a multitude of ways. I could see both of these teams winning this game comfortably. So I think that this is the definition of a live betting game spot. No real opinion on the side and total on Wednesday. I think that you and I and the boys will be looking for angles live in this game because there's a lot of unknowns. Like, couldn't you see both these teams winning this game by 2 touchdowns?
That's why I said I got no read on this game whatsoever.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too.
I think James Conner is a guy we can look at from a props perspective. By the way, while you were talking, I told you I was looking for Cortland Sutton props. They just dropped from the Broncos, 60.5. This guy just blows through that number every single week. It's fascinating. But, back to this one. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we don't even live bet it. Maybe
the only thing I know for sure is I will definitely not be betting the side and total in this game.
No.
Unless we see an angle live on the show. That's the only thing I know for sure. Props we might get involved with once I dig in, but we will not be betting the side in this total pregame.
Okay. Thursday Night Football will be live at 8:10. Free show. Next 2 live shows, it's kind of an NBA Wednesday. 5 o'clock Eastern, NBA Rundown, spread Tyler. What'd you say spread and the boys were up so far?
Spread's up 22 units in the month of November. Can I show you before we get out of here? Can I bring something up on the screen?
Sure. Before you do that, let me just say live NBA betting show tonight. NBA NHL 7:30. Fox, Zargo, myself. What's up? Free show.
That's what we're doing in November.
How's
that? Is that good enough for people? For fucking
spread's leading the board
for $1.98 a day.
Spread is leading the board. Don't sign up. Hashtag don't sign up.
I mean, it's $1.98 a day.
Look at that.
Is that good enough for $1.98 a day?
I'm pretty excited here. Spread leading the kegger. This is going to be an interesting race to the top.
I gave him a 16 unit head start.
You did give him a 16. Hey, stop being so competitive, you jabroni. The Sean Fox has been killing it on the live show. So a lot going on here at Nuke the House. Nuke November's the code, nukethehouse.com. Sign up already.
Just Kegger, do it, man.
Great show, Kegger. You did a great job breaking these games down. I'm really enjoying it. Love doing these shows with you. I learn a lot.
Thanks, buddy.
Stick around a couple hours. Actually, right now, right? Would that be 5 Eastern, right? NBA Rundown. Let's get out of here. 7:30, NBA live betting show, NHL live betting show. If you want to bet them both, that'll be a fun time. For Keg, I'm Kush. Stick around. NBA Rundown is next. Let's go Nuke the House.